Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace and I'm a part of the SafeStops group. SafeStops is a digital traffic stop app with a goal to help prevent dangerous situations from happening during traffic stop procedures.
So this is how the app works. Through a user-friendly interface, drivers securely store licenses, insurance cards, and registrations, easily presenting them to law enforcement with just a few taps. The app features built-in incident reporting, allowing users to document details, photos, and videos for transparency. With a supportive user community, newsletters, and efficient customer support channels, SafeStop fosters awareness and understanding. The app ensures digital document storage, which eliminates the need to search through physical copies. During stops, users retrieve documents instantly, reducing time and stress. Hands-free functionality, privacy measures, and the potential to enhance safety, efficiency, and compliance make SafeStops a vital tool for drivers. So in 2019, our employer, Adrian, experienced a traffic stop that left her dissatisfied. This dissatisfaction fueled the birth of SafeStops, an innovative initiative aimed at transforming how traffic stops are conducted. Adrian's vision extends beyond individual experiences, aspiring to make SafeStops a standard practice on a national and global level. Currently a work in progress, SafeStops leverages technology to enhance safety and communication during traffic stops. Adrian is eager to implement SafeStops, recognizing its potential to reduce disparities and prevent violence. So the challenges were bringing together important ideas such as the use of force, standardized decision-making procedures, following traffic laws, integrating communication systems, and conducting a thorough impact assessment. We researched a comprehensive traffic safety protocol to prevent failed traffic stops. Through open and responsible procedures, Team SafeStops aims to promote inclusivity, trust, and cooperation in traffic safety.
We researched violent traffic stop situations and explained how SafeStops would have helped in those situations. Our employer provided us with case study findings in which we organized and examined various traffic stop scenarios to evaluate the potential of the SafeStops app. After a careful analysis, we pinpointed useful uses for the app that provide information about how it can improve safety and transparency when drivers and law enforcement officials interact. In addition to offering insightful strategic analysis, our research seeks to facilitate the use of the SafeStops app, which will ultimately improve the effectiveness and safety of traffic stops. In Minnesota, an African-American man named Orlando Castillo was living with his girlfriend Diamond Reynolds and her 4-year-old daughter when he was pulled over by Officer Geronimo Yanez. Before this, Officer Yanez had radioed in to another officer that he thought Castillo matched the description of a robbery suspect based on his wide-set nose. He pulls Castile over and tells him that his brake light is broken and then asks for his license and proof of insurance. Castile gives him his insurance card and informs the officer that he does not have a gun in the car. And Officer Yanez tells him not to reach for it. Castile goes to look for the driver's license, to which Officer Yanez yells at him not to pull out the gun. Castile assures him he is not pulling the gun out, and Officer Yanez yells once again not to pull the gun out and decides to fire 7 shots, fatally injuring Castile.
The Dante Wright case is that he was pulled over for the expired registration tab and the air freshener hanging from his rear view mirror. The police officers on the scene found out that he had a warrant for a gross misdemeanor weapons charge and informed Wright he was under arrest. Wright followed the officer's instructions, but then was able to free himself and got back into his car. There was then a scuffle between the officers and Wright. Officer Potter told Wright she would tase him if he didn't resist, but she took out her gun instead and shot him in the chest.
Traffic safety laws are used to ensure the safety of everyone on the road. Excessive force used by a police officer violates the Fourth Amendment, stating that a police officer may use only such force is objectively reasonable under all of the circumstances. A United States Supreme Court case titled Graham versus Connor found that the use of force that can be used in that specific situation must be judged by a reasonable officer on the scene.
When examining traffic laws in two different states, in Hawaii, it is considered a petty misdemeanor to intentionally disobey a lawful order from a police officer authorized to control traffic. Additionally, to 291C Section 172 mandates that anyone detained for a traffic violation must provide their name, address, or proof thereof upon the lawful request of a police officer involved in traffic enforcement. In Texas, if a driver intentionally avoids a police officer after being commanded to pull over, it is considered an infraction. The pursuing officer must be in uniform with a visible badge, and their vehicle must be marked as law enforcement vehicle. Generally, a Class B misdemeanor, it can be elevated to a Class A misdemeanor if the driver's action pose an immediate risk or serious physical harm to others. Additionally, it is in both Hawaii and Texas, drivers are typically required to provide their driver's license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance when requested. Keeping these documents easily accessible can facilitate smoother interactions. The use of tools like SafeStop could enhance the safety and ease of these interactions.
Police officers use different forms of communication every day, including 911 calls where people can call for help from law enforcement or even text 911 if they are in a situation when they cannot talk to someone. Since police officers are already using technology for communication, SafeStops will also be a beneficial app for communication during traffic stops. SafeStops will change the way that traffic stops are done for the better by preventing many violent interactions that can happen at traffic stops. SafeStops may have prevented what happened to Wright if he was allowed to communicate with officers digitally.
As stated before, SafeStops will provide safety for both parties, drivers, and law enforcement. This can be seen in previous case studies, as mentioned before, in Trooper Richard Albert's case. In Dunesburg, New York, Trooper Richard Albert was shot in the arm during the traffic stop. Trooper Albert noticed an SUV going 100 miles per hour on the I-88. He pulled over the SUV, and as he walked towards the driver's side of the vehicle, the driver rolled down his window and shot Trooper Albert in the arm. One of the features SafeStop has is the ability for the officer to communicate to the drivers remotely. Multiple acts of violence take place on the road today. People should feel safe behind the wheel at all times, not only to improve the safety of themselves, but other drivers on the road as well. One of the features the SafeStop app has is the ability for the officer to communicate remotely. With this integration of the SafeStop app, instead of the officer having to walk to his car, the SafeStop app will allow the cop virtually to ask the driver for the license and registration. This will protect the officer's safety because you never know how someone may react to being pulled over. And with it being virtual, the officer will be able to stay safe in their car, just in case any type of violence happens when they're out their car.
Some of the next steps for SafeStops will be to present the app to many different precincts to get their feedback on it. SafeStops can also ask them to hold a public hearing so more people can learn about it and ask questions. They can also offer rewards to people for using the app so more people want to use it. Lastly, keep data on SafeStops to prove how it's been successful at reducing aggressive behaviors during traffic stops.
The global implementation of SafeStops is anticipated to enhance routine traffic enforcement and promote a more harmonious connection between law enforcement and the community. It also minimizes the risk of accidents or misunderstandings during traffic stops by reducing physical document handling.
Feeling secure is the most important feeling to have while driving. As I have a busy schedule of having to go to class and work, the morning can be very hectic for me. With the SafeStops app being able to contain very important driving information, this can not only make my morning, but other people's mornings more easier. So if they're pulled over, the feeling of unease can trimmer down, as I know I will have. This is as I know I will have all the necessary information to make traffic stops to go as fluent as possible.
And many students, like myself, who suffer from anxiety, would benefit from SafeStops because it would allow us to feel more composed and peaceful. When I become nervous, I tend to make mistakes and mess things up.
SafeStops will help the public feel safe when driving since it helps prevent violence during stops. Thank you guys so much for watching our presentation. We hope you liked it.